hello. How's it going, people? Welcome to the stream. Welcome. Friday, 25th of the October. And of course, Arsenal this Sunday are taking on Liverpool. In my opinion, a must-win game for Arsenal. No excuses despite the injuries and everything, suspensions and all that stuff. Pretty much our backs are up against the wall, which means, again, that if we lose, it could get quite ropey to say the least. So definitely we're gonna talk about pretty much all Liverpool and Arsenal. We're gonna talk about preview between the teams, about the stuff, how's it going, and all that good stuff. So if you're new around here, of course, don't forget to smash thumbs up, don't forget to subscribe, hit that bell, all that good stuff. Get live interactive in the chat, in the comments afterwards. And let's be real, let's not drag this too long. Let's dig straight in, and we're gonna warm up a bit before we get into Arteta pre-match interview and everything. Before we get into actual preview, we're gonna talk about some transfer rumors and stuff like that. And according to Court of Sight, Arsenal and Liverpool are still keen on potential transfer move for Arda Güler, as the 19-year-old continues to struggle for playing time at Real Madrid this season. So Arda Güler, arguably one of the most hot prospects in a way in the Euros and in general there has been over the last year or so at least, and he signed for Real Madrid from Turkey. And also for Turkey in Euros he was actually quite good, so that also goes into that account. But overall Arsenal were interested before he went to Real Madrid in him as well. Obviously certain players are struggling with game time at Real Madrid. Also you need to add the fact that Arda Güler has been injured on certain occasions, to be honest, because injury history, if we look at it, he just joined Real Madrid and instantly missed 9 games with meniscus, then missed 9 with muscle, and then another 11 with a muscle injury. That was last season. So overall, obviously in front of him there's Brahim Diaz, there were Rodrigo and other players, even Ceballos tend to play at certain instances. The thing is though, with Mbappe's signing and that he can play all across the front three pretty much, let's be real, Jude Bellingham and everything, he kinda is a bit the odd one out in a way. That's why I would assume there are some talks of him potentially looking for a way out. I'm not sure it would be a sell, I think more it would be a loan than anything. But apparently he is a bit displeased with the lack of game time at Real Madrid. And to be honest, he has played 7 games this season. That is actually nothing to sneeze at. However, this season he has played 7 games in La Liga, which is 251 minutes, which is about a bit more than half an hour per game on average, which, not gonna lie, isn't that much in a way for him. In Champions League as well, 13 minutes average in 3 games, and obviously in UEFA Super Cup he played only 2 minutes. So he hasn't seen that much of a game time as probably he would have expected given the situation that was there at Real Madrid at the time. Now obviously during the last transfer window quite a bit has changed, and it looks like he is a bit displeased about his game time. He might be looking for a way on loan or a way out. The big thing is though, he was signed for 20 million from Real Madrid at the moment, from Fenerbahce. At the moment, apparently his value is about 45 million, which again is a very, very high price if he was to move full time. Still, Liverpool and Arsenal are in for him. It will be very interesting to see how that develops. But definitely that is a player, in a way, I would have been quite interested to see at Arsenal when we were linked with him. However, obviously for me the preference would be Brahim Diaz, but Arda Güler actually is a proper baller. He actually has tech and everything. He's very young, he has had some injuries, so that is a bit of a concern. He's also not the strongest on the ball at times, so that also could be an issue. But obviously, for Turkey, he's one of their best, arguably, and if he's fit, he's actually quite insane. Still 19, so there's lots of potential to grow as well. However, you have to take in fact also the fact you have Ethan Vanieri. And if we sign any player to Odegaard's position, it means Vanieri falls down in pecking order. And given the fact that he's even not getting time when we don't have Odegaard, it raises again more questions than gives answers. Big up coach in the chat. Big up. I'm gutted my team lost the derby today but fought well, hoping Arsenal saved my weekend. Yeah, that sorry for the loss, but that is a very, very big hope to hold on to at the moment, given the circumstances and everything. So definitely, Sorry, good luck with that. I'm generally also hoping Arsenal could maybe change some fortunes, because at the moment, the way Arsenal are looking, they're a very wounded wolf and their backs are up against the wall. And at those times, the most dangerous instances, those are the most dangerous people, teams, animals in the world. So definitely we could be seeing something different during the game, maybe something different. Arteta could mix it up, although given that he's very pragmatic, he most likely won't mix it up, let's be real. Although there could be some surprises, I'm not gonna lie. We're gonna dive into that in a split second. But yeah, hoping for Arsenal to change their fortunes over the weekend is a big stretch. But apparently, still going back to Arda Güler, Arsenal are potentially kind of interested, so that will be very interesting to be seen. Victor Gyökeres. Yesterday we talked about the fact that Manchester City have identified Victor Gyökeres as one of their potential targets to replace Erling Haaland if he leaves when his contract runs out, or whatever happens with him. And apparently today some things have changed as well. Obviously, apparently Man City are still interested, but Arsenal are set to join to race to sign Sporting Lisbon striker Victor Gyökeres as Mikel Arteta looks to improve his attacking options, which is obviously music to every Arsenal fan's ears and everything. But the thing is though, it more looks like summer signing. Obviously for summer we already have been linked with Marmoush, with Jonathan David, with Sesko, still with Isak, and now with Gyökeres as well. It's all, again, starting to come up, and it's not looking that great at all, to be honest, if we come to think of it. So that is a big worry. And January transfer window actually is not that far away, only a bit more than 2 months. So that could be also a big issue. But of course, the fact that there are some reports coming out that Arsenal are set to join the race for Gyökeres, obviously, for most Arsenal fans is music to their ears, because I was one of those Arsenal fans who were screaming for Arsenal to sign a striker in summer, and they decided to ignore that fact. So potentially signing Gyökeres the way he's playing at the moment in general, also in Champions League, it's genuinely would be a great signing. Big up Ramba Basil, big up. Hope you're doing well, my guy. But yeah, Victor Gyökeres, that would be a fantastic signing for Arsenal if they would pull it off. Again, it more looks like a summer type of thing where Arsenal could go for a striker in the summer. The big thing is we need a striker right now if we want to have some good proper chances to actually start to score goals, not waste chances and everything. Because we looked at the stat, I think it was about a week ago, where Arsenal were the number 1 team in wasting chances. In about 20 out of 29 chances, the big chances they wasted didn't score, which they should have scored. Which means if they scored about, I would say, even half of those, the picture in the Premier League table most likely would look much different. Because imagine if Havertz scores against Brighton when we were with 10 men, or Saka scores against Brighton. If we scored even some of those chances, it easily could have turned a draw into a win. And that was the big issue last year as well, when we lost to West Ham 2-0, when we drew to Fulham and everything, when we went 1-7 in December. That was the same issue. We had chances, we just didn't have that clinical finishing touch up front, and it showed. It genuinely showed, and that was a big issue. So it was a reason. That was one of the biggest reasons why we were all screaming for a striker in summer, and still Arsenal decided to ignore it. And it might be a conspiracy theory from my end. It might be just a speculation, but I'd also think that Kroenkes, in a way, have said also enough is enough for spending money. We have given you like 700 million, and you have pretty much been supported full time. Now go and show me what you can do. It also feels in a way that in this instance, because Arsenal usually never has been the team who needs to sell to sign. We finished the transfer window with a net profit, which also isn't the case and has never been with Arsenal. Which again leads me to believe that Kroenkes might potentially have something to do with the fact that they have basically closed the tap on the funding and said, you have what you have, we have supported you for now 4 years, 5 nearly, and now it's time to show the goods. It's time to deliver. That could be just a conspiracy, that could be just a speculation from my end, but on certain level it definitely feels that way in terms of Arsenal. And obviously one of the big news is on Liverpool's front. Arne Slot has confirmed that Diogo Jota will not be available versus Arsenal, which obviously you never want to see a player injured. At the same time, it's good news for Arsenal because Diogo Jota, similarly like Bobby Firmino, was one of those players who genuinely always manages somehow to score a goal against Arsenal. If Bobby Firmino didn't start, he came on as a sub, he scored. If Jota doesn't start, he comes on as a sub and he scores. So in that instance, one of the scary guys is gone. At the same time, it means nothing. Liverpool have more than enough in the attacking front to cause trouble and to score goals, which, to be honest, could not be said about Arsenal, obviously, because we have lost 2 of our best guys and we are instantly in the dumps. So it's definitely not a great look. And obviously, if we speak about Federico Chiesa, he might train this weekend. Let's see what happens with Conor Bradley as well. There have been reports also that Chiesa might go out on loan back to Italy, to Juventus back or something like that, which is also a weird one already. It took literally like 2 months and it's already gone, done and dusted. So it will be very interesting to see how that develops. But here is the big one. Every word of Mikel Arteta's pre-Liverpool press conference. It's time to tune it up, get some syrup, get some waffles. It's that time for waffling and cone man music at this channel. Of course, Arteta's press conference before game against Liverpool on Sunday. So let's see what he had to say. Saka, Calafiori and Timber. We're going to do our very best to somehow have them available, but it's very uncertain, which already is a big worry. On Calafiori, he needs some more tests. He still needs tests. It was pretty much confirmed yesterday that he will be out till mid-November after international break and everything. So if he still needs some tests, I'm not sure that's a good thing though. But yeah, yesterday he had some. Today. Today he's going to have some more, and after that we will know. Last time we thought it was really bad. He ended up playing 2 or 3 days after. So let's see how it is. Obviously, you never want to see one of your, at this stage, main guys even to be injured, but yeah, it's not looking too good. If you will make Sunday's game, I said the last time it happened, but it's time it might be different. Obviously, you never know with injuries. On if Saka has done any training. Yes, he has done a bit of training on the grass. How far we can get him to Sunday? That's a different question. We have another day, which is a good thing, but we will see. Now, this statement is a big worry, because this leads me to believe that Saka, even if he's saying he's training on the grass, means he's training alone. He's not training with the team and not initiating any physical contact, which is a big worry. Because legitimately, the game is 36 hours away. Well, 48 you could say, but stuff like that. The game is not far off. And if Saka, not even now, is not training with the main squad, but he's training on the grass alone, it is a big worry. Which means more likely than not, he is not gonna play. Because he hasn't been pictured in any trainings. Same goes for Timber, it's gonna be asked a bit later on. But yeah, if Saka is not training with the main squad, it already is not looking good. And here comes the big question, by the way. Big up Nick in the chat. Big up. Here is the big thing. Even if Saka is ready for about 80%, right? Big question for you lot. Would you start Bukayo Saka on Sunday if he is ready for 80%? Not fully recovered, but maybe on some, I don't know, injections or something like that. But he's ready for about 80%. Would you start Bukayo Saka on Sunday? Because for me, it is either or. It's obviously my heart is telling me we need the best players and we need to start him. The issue with this is though, this is those situations, big risk, big reward, or big risk, crash and burn. Because Saka has an issue with his hamstring, but it's nothing serious by the looks of things so far. Nothing big serious. We all know the hamstring injuries could be legitimately a few weeks till 4 or 5 months. Tierney did his hamstring in June and he's still not training. So the biggest issue is Saka. If he plays, you're playing with fire. There's a big chance he actually could get injured and be out for 4 or 5 months, for example, even 3. Yeah, and basically you can write off the season instantly. You can write off season instantly already then. Because we can survive 1 or 2 games without Bukayo Saka. We proved that last year when we played against City and we beat City without him, I think it was. But 3 months plus Champions League and everything, no chance in hell Arsenal would survive that. That for me is the big issue. That for me is the big issue. Nick also, he's also not playing Bukayo Saka even if he's ready for 80%. And that for me would be the safe and solid option. You have to look at this also long term. Because if Bukayo Saka falls out for extended period of time with no proper backup, it will do Arsenal more harm than good. And risking him back for one-off game and everything, yes, it could work. Genuinely could. But you need to look at the other side of the coin. What if it doesn't work? He gets tackled or roughed up, I don't know, by Tsimikas, by Robertson, by Endo, by Gravenberch, by someone, and he instantly is out for numerous months. What are we gonna do then? And we don't have an answer to that, because again, Arsenal's incompetence in transfer windows, without signing a backup for him, will come into play. We have played Jesus there, we have played Sterling there, we have seen also Trossard there, but that was a bit different situation, and none of them worked. None of them worked. Obviously, the Jesus last season played there a bit, and it worked on some extent, but overall, it's not sustainable. It won't be sustainable over a longer course of games, especially what happens if, for example, Jesus also gets injured again, but he gets injured. What are we going to do then? It's not sustainable. Play Martinelli up front, Havertz is in the 10, Sterling on the left, Saka on the right, Partey, Rice sitting something there. Saka is not ready. Well, we don't know, obviously, but it doesn't look like Saka could be ready for the game. That is the big issue at the moment. You would risk Bukayo Saka of him getting a long-term injury? Potentially, right? It could not happen, but it could happen, obviously. It's like, whatever happens, happens. That's the big thing. That is the big thing. Obviously, Arteta could think that he has no choice and everything, but at the same time, that's the big thing. I won't risk him. Damn, we're not winning this. Exactly, that's the thing. Will you risk Bukayo Saka for one-off game to maybe even get a draw? You are not guaranteed a win. Or get a win. Or not just say you get a win. And then something happens because he's not fully healed and then he's out for all the rest of the games, for example, this year alone. It's not worth the risk. Obviously, the higher the risk, the higher reward. But in this instance, it's just not worth the risk, in my opinion. Plus Zinchenko and Kivior up against Salah, it's gonna be long. Dude, it could be Skelly. Don't forget, we still have Skelly. If he plays Merino in the midfield, Gravenberch will run all over him, or Szoboszlai or someone, and then they're gonna pass it to Salah. I don't even want to think about it. I'm gonna be honest with you. But we're gonna get into that also in a split second when we're gonna do the starting 11s and everything. On Timber, on Yuri and Timber. Timber again, it's the first session that he could have some involvement. He's been out for a while. We expect him to be further back than where he is at the moment. But again, we have to wait and see. He's further back than where he is at the moment. We expect it to be further back. So he is ahead of the schedule. That's what basically he's saying. Again, it's again another hit and miss. The thing is though, the way he's phrasing Timber compared to Saka, right? He says Saka has done a bit of training on the grass. What's he saying about Timber? Timber, it's the first session that he could have some involvement. So they haven't been pictured in trainings. That is the big worry at the moment. With only a bit less than 48 hours to go till the game, it's not looking too good for Arsenal, let's be real. It's not looking too good for Arsenal. Our team is thin as it is, even when everyone's fit. And now that we have so many injuries, suspensions and everything, it's not looking good. And Timber is also one of those guys that I don't want to put him in the same, I'm not putting him in the same category as Saka. But defensively specifically, again, I wouldn't risk him. Because arguably he is one of the most solid wingbacks we can have in the team. Period. And he can play right back and left back. So if there is a possibility, I wouldn't risk him as well. Potentially for one-off game, again, it's again not worth the risk, in my opinion. In my opinion, at least. It's not worth the risk, similar like Bukayo Saka. How to replace suspended Saliba? Oh, that's impossible. Well, we have different options. Do you really? You really have different options. Players that have already played there before. Players that have played there before. It legitimately screams either Kivior, which was in preseason, Ben White, which he had in previous before Arteta pushed him out to right back, or Declan Rice, who used to play center back as well. That's only 3 options he has. Especially with the given fact that Calafiori might not be available, which again means Kivior might be playing left back. It again now screams either we're gonna play 5 at the back, with Ben White being as that right center back, but then again we don't have wing backs. Or it could be Declan Rice in there. It genuinely could be Declan Rice in there. It's true that the partnership has been very stable, as you said. He's played every single moment. That's also a big issue. He's played every single goddamn game. He's not available. We have to find a different solution, which is something that as a team we need to be good at as well. Well, if you sign proper players to replace them, it wouldn't be that big of an issue. But for me, the biggest issue is we have signed, I would say, exclusively center backs. Our whole defensive line and their backups even, all are center backs pretty much. It's just the fact that they kind of have been pushed out to play wing backs in their previous teams or at Arsenal. Because White was a center back, Timber was a center back, then right back as well. Who else is there? Tomiyasu, he's center back, right back, left back. Calafiori is a center back who can play left back. Although in his early career, Calafiori was a left back, but then he got played mostly in a center back role at Bologna. Who else is there? Kivior, he's also a center back who plays left back. So basically our defensive line solely are center backs, who basically are pushed out to be left back, right backs. Something similar, you could argue, like what's it says, like City. Yet at the same time, City had Cancelo, City have Walker, Rico Lewis, arguably. So our defense is not that great of a thing. Our defense, it looks solid, but it's big up Nathan in the chat. Big up. I'm great. I'm great. And that is also for me a big worry, that our defense is solely center backs. We don't have, again, those specialists in those positions. And since we play mostly Timber, White, Kivior, who else is there? Again, Tomiyasu as wing backs, they are not accustomed to playing center back. Those are, as much as they are both defensive roles, they are 2 completely different defensive roles. And they might not be used to it. Again, they will be very rusty even if you push them in there. Same goes for, to be honest, for Declan Rice if he decides to put him from number 6, number 8 into a center back role. It would be the same thing. That is a big issue. Big issue. At the same time, we need to do what needs must. It's basically how this should be doing. Needs must. We have to put someone in there and we'll try our best to do it. Try to cover his weaknesses and just hope for the best, basically. Because I'm guarantee you it's not going to be easy against Darwin Noodles. Even if he misses like 55 chances, he still will cause chaos in our back line. And if you don't have level mind, we are screwed. Diaz against what's its face on that side, Diaz or Gakpo or whatever against White, no, that will be hell on earth. Mohamed Salah against what, Kivior, Zinchenko, Luis Skelly even, that also will be a nightmare. So we don't have any solidity defensively at the moment. The position that in the beginning of the season looked the most solid and the most trustworthy in terms of depth, 2 months into the season looks basically like Swiss cheese. Lots of holes, and before this game, I'm not gonna lie, I am hella nervous. Let's just say that. I am hella nervous. I'm gonna put my hands up and admit to this. I am nervous for this game. On whether we've done anything different ahead of Sunday. Yes, obviously, after the defeat with 10 men at Bournemouth, we had to pick ourselves up. Well, duh. I think we started the game so well, At first, it was really good and should have been very different with the scoreline. To be honest, in the early stages, we had a few chances. If we scored them, could have been a completely different game. But overall, it was a shit show. I think it wasn't. It wasn't, and in the end, they left us feeling should have been more. They had a day off, 2 days to prepare again, like we always do, and it's a big match. We're all excited about it, and it's a big opportunity. We love these kind of matches at the Emirates. We know that our people are going to generate, and the team is really looking forward to generate what? What they gonna generate? The big thing is, I don't want to basically now get clipped up somehow, but the Arsenal's biggest issue is not the big teams, it's the small teams. And it would be the most Arsenal thing on earth to lose to Bournemouth and to win against Liverpool. That would be pretty much Arsenal in a nutshell. That is basically what Arsenal, especially under Arsene Wenger, has taught us. It would be in our DNA to lose to like Southampton and to win against City. It's just what Arsenal are in a way. It's weird to say it, but it somehow still has stuck with me. Big up BX Gunner in the chat. Big up, big up, big up. That's basically what it is. But yeah, when we're gonna get into starting 11 in a bit, it will be a hell of a discussion. It will be a hell of a chat and a hell of a discussion and scary hours when we're gonna put it on the paper and we're gonna look at it. Trust me. On what can give us the edge against Liverpool, that things go our way, you know, and that we play the game when we want to play. That play with dominance. Both teams are similar. We've done it in the past, we've done it recently, and playing with the belief, energy, and commitment that is necessary in a big match like this. Preseason didn't show us that. Let's be real, preseason wasn't the greatest against Liverpool. On what he's seen from Arne Slot. Yes, very good. Nobody cares. It's Arne Slot. He's good. They have lost 1 game in 12 games, so it's not looking that great for them. Set pieces will be our best hope. You would think so. Yet at the same time, against Van Dijk, Konate, and everyone, it will be a long day still. Definitely, it will be still a long day. And you say set pieces will be our best hope. But when was the last set pieces we have scored? Like, seriously. It was against Spurs, who are arguably the worst team in defending set pieces. We won 1-0. And against City, a team that basically I'm not taking anything away from Arsenal in that regard, but City is one of those teams that basically play like Brazil in late 90s, early 2000s. You score how many you can, we're gonna score how many we want. Sometimes it feels that way. Although this season City have started very shaky, especially defensively. Yet at the same time, they have the power, the know-how, and the skill to get the job done no matter what. Because let's be real, even if City go down to 10 men against Bournemouth, I have no shadow of a doubt in my mind that they're gonna win the game still. And I had the same feeling with Arsenal, that we should be winning against Bournemouth despite the fact that we have 10 men. Yet we all saw how that went. We were awful with 11 men, didn't have a shot on target, and with 10 men, we were hella shocking. Our defense of set pieces has been terrible. Leicester City and Bournemouth. Exactly, that's also a big thing. Bournemouth played the perfect corner against us. First quick on the ground, 1 flick, bang, in goal. We are 1-0 down. Instantly. Leicester scored against us and everything. We also, if you rewatch some highlights from Donetsk Shakhtar game, right? You know how Arsenal do these tactics, the players just talk with each other and they talk tactics, how they're gonna make the runs, who's gonna put on a block and everything in the path and everyone, right? They talked it, and Declan Rice took the corner and Shakhtar players did nothing. They basically didn't even watch the ball. They were focused on their man, they blocked out each of their own man, and goalkeeper just came out and got the ball. They played it simple as that. They were not focused on the ball. They weren't ball watching or anything. They just focused on the task in hand, following the player and blocking him out so the goalkeeper can have an easy day on the set pieces. And it worked like a charm. And I think many teams at the moment have figured quite a bit of us out on set pieces. Hence why we are where we are at the moment. We cannot create dangerous chances on set pieces regularly almost whatsoever. Play Vanieri. We're gonna speak on this. We're gonna speak on this BX Gunner in about 5-10 minutes. Straight after the interview, we're gonna go into starting 11 and everything. We're gonna speak on Ranieri 100%. Promise you that. And the most dangerous thing about Liverpool is the team, you know, for 9 years has been competing at the highest level in every competition, so they know how to compete. They know how to threat you, when the ball is really far, when the ball is outside, and especially they have individual quality to damage you. They're good on set pieces. Keep that in mind. It's a team that for 9 years consistently been there. That means that they are really good. Good thing that they are. And that is a big thing as well. We need to give your Velcro laces so he doesn't tie. Basically, the double straps. He needs to do something so he doesn't tie up his shoelaces again while Van Dijk scores a header. They need to do something in that regard. On the strength in depth to deal with Saliba's absence, yes, well, obviously we had so much going on, especially in the back line. The first few months of the season, we had to adapt to that. What went wrong in the first few months in the back line? Had to adapt to what? Saliba, Gabriel. Oh, White Timber situation. Okay, and Calafiori as well. Okay, I get it. On this game requires different mentality. Yes, it does. On if Luis Skelly or Ranieri could start on Sunday. Finally, a good question. They are there, you know. They are in contention. Oh my god. Spoken like true politician. Basically, word per word, a politician's answer. It's like he's running for mayor or something. You know, they are there in contention. We see them every time. They're training hard. They're showing themselves as much as they can. They're doing excellently well. Game time comes, they sit on the bench. Here we go. They're always giving us the option and the possibility to start the game. It's like he says this every single interview, isn't it? It's like he says this goddamn thing every single bloody interview when he gets asked about Skelly or Ranieri. He always says, he is there, he's training hard, he's giving us the reason to maybe try and select and giving us a headache, he's in the contention. He says that every single interview when he gets asked about Ranieri and Skelly. Every single time. Miles came on the right on the other night and he did really well. Ethan the same. So they're the first team players, they're with us and they treat them and win, yeah, blah. On if young players can play without fear in big games. Yes, for sure. They have nothing to lose. They have everything to gain and nothing to lose in a way. You could argue that as well. Wait, what? That's certainly something they can feel much, especially those two, and that's something really positive. It brings the crowd together as well. It creates energy in the team. That's something really good. It's about yes, thriving in the best moment when the right players around you, which is something really important as well. No, not scared to play them. Well, we did it in Champions League game the other day. Let's not gloss over the fact that he subbed on Ranieri against Bournemouth because, well, there was nothing else we could do. We were awful. We couldn't have gotten much worse. Let's not talk about the fact that we subbed on Skelly because Calafiori got injured and it was due to that. Let's not talk about that. We just put him on the field. Let's focus on that, right? It was really hard to do worse than the most players that played against Bournemouth. It was really hard. So anything that if they put anything good, they would look like world beaters. Man, this guy. And if Liverpool are on par with Man City as style challengers, yes, they are. On if this game is his biggest test, blah. On preparing to win the game, not lose it. I never think about what if we lose it. Okay, so anyone want to explain me this statement? I never think about what if we lose it. So basically when we are 2-0 up and you park the bus and everything, it's called smart management, right? When it's 2-1 up, it's smart management and everything. Or it's a 1-1 draw, it's a smart management. You don't park the bus and everything. So everything that we do is to win it. I'm not sure. I'm not so sure, Chief. Not so sure. So in my preparation, I don't spend 1 second if we lose. It's about if we win it, how we can going with it. If he thinks about the title race at all, nobody cares. At the moment, especially with the injuries, we need to get our players back as soon as possible, then we can start focusing on that. We need to do our best while our players are not there. That's the big thing. Now, when we won against Villa, everyone was saying the same. If you lose this game, the second game of the season, what's next? To be honest, if we lose to Liverpool, then it's gonna get peak. On the importance of keeping the team news from leaking, especially for team news, yeah. That's something I understand. A lot of kids as well want to do their own teams and be managers in their positions. It's our job to protect that as much as possible because you don't want to give anything away. It's normal. On if he's had to work on that, it's a big part for our job. To be honest, since Arteta has joined, we don't see too many leaks. Remember when Emery was here, even when Wenger was there were leaks of starting 11s, of situations in the club and stuff like that. Now it's legitimately Emirates are on lockdown, like Fort Knox. Almost nothing gets in and nothing gets out. I like it, to be honest, in a way. Although at the same time, I would love to have some transparency with the club on certain situations that happen, because on certain level, very randomly, someone gets sacked. Something goes wrong in the club and we hear none of it with no explanation. That is something that's bothering me at times. On why injuries have happened, in a lot of cases, it's been a very bad luck. We have a certain difficult knee injuries. Yeah, mostly knee injuries as well, muscle injuries. It's definitely not over the fact that they've been overplayed or playing 60 plus games almost every season. Certain traumatic injuries, 3 injuries with the national team, which is difficult to control, obviously. I don't know why they call it luck. What happened with Calafiori the other day, what happened with Tomiyasu, but it happened, but it's, oh yeah, blah blah blah. On if he's surprised by how Slot has started, no. On if he knows the lineup today, team on Sunday, no. I'm not sure whether it's good or bad, because if he doesn't know his starting 11 at the moment, it's a bit worrying in a way, because that means he still doesn't have an answer to replace Saliba. Obviously, he could be lying, straight up lying, saying nothing and everything. I totally would get that. But at the same time, if this is true, it means that he still doesn't have a plan for the game. He still doesn't have a plan, and for the players, obviously, he will wait till late night tomorrow to see how Saka does on the pitch in training, how Timber does on the pitch in training, because that could affect his judgment, even on the bench. But yeah, it's a bit worrying, I'm not gonna lie. On the next 48 hours, that it will be scary. On if we're prepared for a number of injuries, not directly in the season, not in the manner that they have happened with a few players. Having rest in... Well, basically, on if we are prepared for a number of injuries. No, we're not. Let's be real. The only answer to this question is no, we are not. Because if we would be prepared, we would have a backup for Saka, backup for Odegaard, we would have a proper striker, we would have a proper midfield still, just in case Partey gets injured. We would have wingbacks that are not injured at the moment. We would have some leniency on the team. At the moment, we have none of that, especially attack-wise. So we are not. Having rest is the best physical, mental conditions, nothing that we put a lot of work into because key. Then be the team to prepare because blah, 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 blah. You lose your fullback, you lose your other fullback, you lose your striker or a winger, but the team has to have the resources. Exactly. Team has to have the resources. So whose fault is it that we don't have it? Huh? Edu, Arteta, I'm looking at you, morons. It's your fault. First of all, mentally to adapt and blah blah blah. On what he's learned about team's character. Whatever. It's been 5 years. If you have learned nothing, your own fault. On how to stop himself from focusing on the negatives. Because it gives me zero for the next moment, for the next day, the next preparation. It just takes things out of me, and it takes things... And if it takes things out of me, it's going to take things out of the staff because they're close to me, and... No Didi, by the way. And then the players, and then the belief. Throw it away, that's it. Oh, bloody hell. That was waffle and a half, I'm not gonna lie. Anyways, let's see what you are saying in the chat. Skelly will start ahead of Zinchenko. Maybe. We're playing too cautious. I'd rather lose trying to win, especially with the substitutes. Arteta is very reactionary and disguising it as trusting. Exactly. I much rather we just go for it. Genuinely, just in Emirates at the moment, we we have more to lose than no, we have more to gain than to lose at the moment. With the injuries we have, in my opinion, at the moment, and how thin and depleted the team is, we have more to gain than to lose if we go all guns blazing in attacking game. Obviously, it will be a very nuts game if that happens, because I don't think it will be the case, first of all. But that would be... Yeah, Arda Güler. Here it is. That's why. That's why. We need to make subs there. Mikkel reacts and not practically trying to change the games when he was... Exactly. He just makes subs, player per player subs, which everyone knows already before the game has kicked off. That is the big thing. Everyone knows the subs before the game has kicked off. Every single Arsenal fan knows the subs that he's gonna make and the time when it's gonna happen. 99% of the time, everyone knows when and what subs he's gonna make. He never tries to be the first guy to make the move in chess. He always wants to see the first other team move first. I agree, we need to take it to them. I'm not sure over like it's a script. Exactly! That's the big thing. We need to take it to them. We have more to gain and less to lose in this instance. If we lose, okay, we are 3 points less. But at the moment, we have more to gain, because if we win, we gain more at this instance. Obviously, I wouldn't play Saka if he's not fully ready. I wouldn't play Timber if he's not fully ready. Because even if they both are for like 80%, 80 only, there's a bigger chance that he can get injured still. And if he gets injured properly, then it could be 2-3 months, and risking that again, it's dumb, basically. Nope, I'm not German. No, I'm not German. I'm not even near Germany, by the way. I'm sure it's his agent trying to put pressure on Madrid. That's the big thing. He came to Madrid last season. He had 3 big injuries. He missed overall 30 games nearly. And now this season, again, he has played, on average, 30 minutes a game in La Liga, 2 minutes in Super Cup, and about 13 minutes in 3 games in Champions League. Obviously, Real Madrid are struggling. They are not looking great, but they're still getting over the line. Maybe not against Lille, but you get the point. And with the fact that they have now Jude, they have also, of course, Brahim Diaz, they have Mbappe, they need to kind of put him into the team. He's kind of the odd man out. He doesn't have the position to play in, because every single place is covered with 2 or 3 players, and he's on the pecking order a bit lower than usual, you would imagine. So it could be the case that he's actually annoyed, or it just could be his agent pressing some type of matters here. But anyways, it's that time. It is that time, which could be very, very, very rough. Arsenal. Let's build our own, in a way, I would say, community stream starting 11. Let's try something like that. My camera is doing a mad thing here, so let's do it like this. Let's try it this way. So, first things first. Goalkeeper. I think there are no arguments that goalkeeper will be David Raya, correct? I would assume so, at least, unless you want Neto in goal or Setford. Yeah, Raya in goal. That shouldn't be the case. Now, don't pay attention to the positions, how the players are looking at the moment, because it's just how it basically threw it out. Let's put it like this. So, right back. Who we are putting at right back? Who could be our right back? Will it be Ben White? Or Arteta will do a madness and play Partey there? Because that could be also the case. Could he play Partey at right back? I think Ben White is the obvious option, although he's been on a shocking form recently. In the game since he come back from injury, in the last 2 games, he has been on a shocking form. He got cooked by Kevin from Shakhtar Donetsk. He got cooked by Kevin from Home Alone, pretty much. Let's be real. So that is also not a great thing. So I would say, I guess the White is arguably the only option we have. Again, unless Arteta does a madness and plays Partey there. But for me, definitely, it should be, at the moment, the only option, to be honest. Benjamin White. I don't think that Timber will be ready. Timber, I think, will not be ready for this. Now we get to the big nitty-gritty, in a way. Right-sided center back to replace Saliba. Now, our options in this instance are either, well, could be Ben White, to be honest, if we play Partey at right back. Let's keep that in mind. But the most obvious one is Kivior, isn't it? It's either Kivior or, well, that's about it, to be honest. He could play Kivior there. He could play Declan Rice there. And he could play potentially, obviously, Ben White, depending on what he sets up with. So our Saliba replacement is not looking that great. It's not looking that great. So you really would play Kivior there. You really would. Let's see. Nathan disagrees. He wants Declan Rice at center back if that is the option. For me, the biggest thing is either of these could be an option. Especially, I think this also could be a thing. By the way, this one. This also could be an option. By the way, where's Marino? I just took him off. This also could be an option, potentially. To be honest, not putting it past him. By the way, genuinely not putting it past him. Kiwi looks bad out of position. Would love to see him play in his natural position. In pre-season, remember in pre-season when Kiwior played center back? Obviously, he was playing next to Nichols, I think it was, or the Sweetener, whatever his name was. I forgot his name. So yeah, that is the big thing. Partey against Diaz, who is in form. It doesn't make any difference, to be honest. Because even if we play Ben White has been shocking recently at right back since coming back from injury. He might be still a bit injured, and he could have been a bit forced back into the team given our lack of wing back options. That also could be the case, to be honest, in my opinion. But it does. Ben White was cooked by everyone against Bournemouth, by Semenyo insane amount of times, and he was cooked by Kevin against Shakhtar. So I'm like, it's basically lose-lose in a way. White can defend with his aura. It's not Calafiori. Ben White with his aura, he has nothing. He only has a spray on tan. He can scoop some off and try and hit Diaz in his eyes with that. That's the only thing he could do, to be honest, in my opinion. Nothing else, to be honest. He could try generally. He sprays on his tan, then scratches off. He has that big spot right there, and he just makes like a snowball. It's a tan ball, and just yeets him at him while defending. That could be the case potentially. But overall, I think the only who we are playing center back, Kivior or Declan Rice. Who is playing our right-sided center back, Kivior or Declan Rice? Because for me, it doesn't matter who we play on that side. Because it will be very, very rough either way. It will be hella rough either way. It could be that hole in the defense that we don't need, but we will have. It's like playing Rob Holding, basically, there when Saliba got injured 2 seasons ago. It's basically this is the same situation, if you kind of think of it. That is the big thing. If Timber and Calafiori are out, then to go with White, Rice, Gabriel. The thing is, we just looked at it, and we talked about it also yesterday. Calafiori still needs to do some tests, and he will be out at least till mid-November or so. So Calafiori is out of the question instantly. What Mikel Arteta said about Timber, look, what he said about Timber, right, is the fact that Timber, again, it's the first session that he could have some involvement. He's been out for a while. We expect him to be further. We expected him to be further back than where he is at the moment, but again, we have to wait and see. Which basically means he is ahead of the schedule in recovery, yet at the same time, it's the first session that he could have some involvement potentially, which means arguably off the bench, maybe only. that is the big thing. It looks like Timber won't be available like properly. He also hasn't been pictured in the trainings as well. At least in today's pictures, as people are talking about it. No Saka, no Timber. So that is again a big yikes for me. That is a big issue. If you play Rice in defense, you'll have Jorginho and Merino in the mid flat. To be honest, imagine the midfield of Partey, Jorginho, and Merino. The three snails in the midfield. 3 snails in the midfield against Liverpool's press. Can you imagine that? That could be pick'ems for Arsenal in general. That could be hell on earth. 3 snails in the midfield, a turtle race basically. But yeah, I think we will... So, wait, we are settling on what at center back? Big up Manchester, big up... I'm not reading that, but big up Manchester. So, who we are settling on at center back? Rice or Kivior? Rice center back? Okay. Or Kivior. Ay, Dios mío, man. Rice or Kivior? For me, the biggest thing is, if we play Rice at center back, it means Kivior plays left back. That is pretty much a guarantee in this instance, isn't it? If we play Kivior at center back, it means Zinchenko or Skelly plays left back, which is again a big issue. Jesus is not at right wing. It's just that it's an automatic team that the side threw out, and we are starting from defense and building it up. That is the thing. It's like asking to which hand you want chopped off, left or right. Pretty much, that's the big thing. Pretty much, that's why it is the thing. That's why it's being at. That's the issue. Okay, I think I'm gonna go with Rice solely because Arteta might do something rogue here. Rice has played center back. He has been a center back before it became a holding DM / number 8. And if he plays center back, even though he is defensively not as strong per se, he's more like Saliba center back wise than Kivior, if that makes sense. If that makes any sense. Yo, Manchester, 40 million and we sell him to you. You're taking him? 40 million to United, are you taking him? I don't think so. I don't think we can. He was last center back. That's the big issue. It was a very long... It wasn't 10 years ago. I think he was a center back, what? Like 6-7 years ago, I think. But he has played there for West Ham, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So that for me is the big rogue issue. That's the big issue. But yeah, I'm gonna put Rice at center back solely because of that reason. Gabriel obviously is left center back, and I'm gonna put Kivior on left back because this is the same instance as playing Rice or Kivior at center back. Because we either play Zinchenko there, we play Kivior, or we play Skelly there. None of them will be good enough to deal with Mohamed Salah. Calafiori is injured and he is out at least till mid-November. That is the thing. He could, that's the rogue thing. He could be playing at center back, but maybe not. Okay, we have 2 for potentially Kivior at center back. So we're gonna put Kivior at center back. But that again now means Zinchenko or Skelly at left back. Who we are playing left back? Zinchenko or Miles Lewis Skelly? Who could be our center back? No, left back, sorry. Skelly, if none can defend Salah, at least play the guy who has ability going forward. Skelly. Gyökeres or who else? There was another one I wanted. Gyökeres obviously is the obvious one. I wouldn't be against Ollie Watkins if we could get him. Someone like Duran, yeah, Duran also is a one. He would be like the 4th of the options we could get. So we are putting Miles Lewis Skelly, right? Is he here even? He is. Not here. So what we're gonna do is do this, and we're gonna do this. Miles Lewis Kelly. Okay, midfield. Here we go. Will this be our midfield or not? Will this be? Problem with Victor Gyökeres is his price is too much for... Its release clauses. 85 million pounds is hell of a lot, I'm not gonna lie. But if he keeps playing like he's playing at the moment and for the 2 seasons in a row, I don't think anyone will be complaining about the price tag, especially given the fact that there are not that many strikers who have the skill set that he has and the ability to score as he has. Isak could be the case. The 2 issues for me is the injuries, and the second one is the fact that he, per se, I don't want to say he doesn't fit the way we play, because who knows, we could finish 6th, Arteta could get sacked and we get a different manager, just hypothetically with the injuries how it's looking at the moment. But I don't know, we don't play this counter-attacking open space inshallah football like we used to play 2 years ago. I think Isak kind of thrives in that, playing very pragmatic, slow football, U-shaped with the passes and everything. Even though he has the skills and finishing ability, I think he could be a bit hindered in his development. I think that could be the case, but I wouldn't say no if we could get him for about 60 million. I wouldn't say no to Isak saying that, to be honest. Sounds weird, but kind of, yeah. Partey holding role. So Partey we are putting as a 6, right? Where is Partey? Partey as a 6. Okay, we have sold on that. We're selling on that. Partey, Merino, Trossard. Partey. You're gonna put Merino instead. Where is Rice playing for you? Wait, Nathan, where is Rice playing for you? You are still holding on to the fact that Rice is playing at center back? Or what? That is for me the big question, because you haven't mentioned Partey as because I think you're holding him at center back role. That for me is the big question. Because now it kind of raises the big one, because if we play Partey, Rice and someone else, I kind of get it. I get it. You want to touch the field. Nathan, okay. Trossard has been stinking passing to opponents, misplaced passes, don't want drunk. Stella R. Trossard. Woohoo! Partey, Rice. That is the thing. And now I'm gonna speak on him. Yes, I know it's Odegaard and blah blah blah. We're gonna rename him. Let's just put him as 99. Vanieri. Now, this is the big thing why I am kinda okay with this. And hear me out. Now, hear me out with this. Hear me out with this. Hear me out. Vanieri is a young player, and one of the biggest traits that young players tend to have is fearlessness. And in the position we are at the moment, with our backs against the walls, we need to do something that arguably Slot is not expecting. Because knowing Mikel Arteta, he will do something very predictable. He will play very experienced backline and very experienced midfield with experienced attacking line. Which means no youngsters, no Skelly, no Vanieri, no players like that. But we could actually put him on the pitch solely just to throw a curveball in there. Because Vanieri, the biggest trait for Vanieri is his dribbling ability, ball carrying ability, and getting the ball in tight spaces. He can dribble out of them. He's very mobile and he has a decent shot on him. So definitely I think that could work in our favor. And to maybe throw them off balance a bit, obviously against Van Dijk, Konate and players like that, it will be very peak for Vanieri, don't forget that. But at the same time, we need to do something unexpected. Something very unexpected that maybe, as I said, throws a curveball in Slot's wheels. Like puts a stick in his wheels. We need to do something. And I think even though it sounds ludicrous, it sounds dumb and everything, playing Vanieri actually wouldn't be the worst option. Because Trossard has been shit for the last few games. And We have nobody else to play there. Genuinely nobody else to play there. And I know it sounds hella weird, hella crazy and everything, but I actually think that this could be. I think he played against Bolton quite a bit. I think he played against Bolton nearly a full 90. Yeah, against Bolton he played a full 90. Ethan Vanieri. He played a full 90. He played a full 90 against Bolton. Oh no, no, besides Bolton he hasn't. He has played 18 minutes in Premier League in 3 games, so 6 minutes a game on average. That's how much Arteta is trusting our youth and utilizing our youth. Not against Southampton, against Leicester and teams like that. Sub him on for 6 minutes against Bournemouth when we are losing 2-0 and stuff like that. That is the big thing. Saka is injured. Saka is injured. He hasn't been pictured in recent trainings as well, so there's a big possibility he's not going to play. Might be on the bench, but who knows. Arsenal don't use... That's the big issue. That's the big issue. And to be honest, Mikel Arteta hasn't promoted and used consistently any youth players. Because Smith Rowe and Saka were promoted by Unai Emery. Unai Emery started using them. So we cannot give full credit to Mikel Arteta on that regard as well. I don't watch cricket. I'm from Latvia. Next one. You can't Trossard to play a touchline. Yeah, that's the big thing. If Trossard plays in 10, and if we keep playing like in a 4-4-2, 4-4-1-1 like we played against PSG, then I would start Trossard, if that would be the case, actually. That could actually work. Yeah, we need a player that is a ball carrier in the midfield. And at the moment, since we sold Emil Smith-Rowe, Ethan Vanieri, in my opinion, is the only one who has shown the ability to do that of all the Arsenal midfielders whatsoever. Asking him to do a 65 plus against Liverpool with that midfield is insane. Like, let's just say this. For example, let's just play him for about 60, then someone Trossard or something like that. Someone else then. But give him maybe a chance. I know it sounds very weird, very crazy, like I'm losing my head and gaslighting on some level and everything. But it could work. Sometimes you need to do the unexpected. United last year, by the way, big up Manchester in the chat, out of nowhere just threw Kobe Mainoo in the team. Out of nowhere due to injuries, he hit the ground running, and 6 months later he's playing in the Euros. Like, it could work. Just give him a chance. Maybe it could actually work. Unleash young Ethan. I'm back. Just got out of work. Oh, big up. No, Odegaard is injured as well. Yes, he is also injured. He has been injured for quite some time at the moment as well, which is not great. I'm not gonna lie. Vanieri plays without fear. Play the young, hungry talent and let him cook. That's the thing. He would cook, and nobody could blame him as well. There would be no blame on Vanieri in that regard as well, because he will do what he can do. We just want to see what he can do. Obviously, the best games to put him out in the team, of course, Leicester at home, Southampton at home, games like that. But at the moment, it actually could work. It could put a spanner in works for Arne Slot, and it could work. I know it sounds weird, but it actually could work potentially. Now, attack. Okay, striker is Havertz. We are not debating that. Left wing is Martinelli, because Martinelli has insanely good record against Liverpool. Against all the top 6 sides, he has scored double the points compared to other top 6 sides, if I'm not mistaken. Buy some players from Hungary. What? What do you mean? When Gary has... talking about unexpected Mazraoui. Exactly, Mazraoui as a 10 last night. That was a wild one, not gonna lie. What Ten Hag is doing, I don't think even Ten Hag understands. Martinelli, Jesus on the flanks. To be honest, I think that could be the only good option. That could be the only good option, arguably. That could work, in my opinion. Genuinely, that could work. Martinelli, Vanieri would have Liverpool. like we would have some pace and ball carriers on some level. Mangieri is better ball carrier than Martinelli to a certain extent. And I think that actually could work. I genuinely believe that could work. The thing is though, what formation do we play? What formation do we play? Because I can see this working like this in 4-2-3-1, very flat one, with 2 DMs, left mid, right mid, number 10 and a striker. Or I can actually see this as a potential 4-4-1-1 or something like that even. Potentially. That could be the case, who knows. But Mangieri actually could do the job. He actually could do the job. Now, I think that could actually be the starting 11. The issue is we don't have that many options to play. Because as defensively especially, as soon as we put one player here, we don't have a right back. If we put White at center back. We have to play Party there and nobody wants to see that against Diaz, who is in insane form. If we play Kivior at center back, we have to play Zinchenko or Skelly as a left back, instantly. If we put Kivior there, we need to play again White or Rice at center back. It doesn't matter how you move these chess pieces in the team defensively for Arsenal, one spot always will be open. It's like the slide puzzle you have to do. Always that one gap will be open and you don't have a way to replace it. Like, that is the biggest issue. And speaking of game, I know people are expecting like 3-2, 3-3, 3-1. I actually think it could be very, very pragmatic game where it could see maybe only 1 or 2 goals potentially. I think the game will finish with 2-1. Game will finish 2-1 for Arsenal-Liverpool. I have no idea. I think we could nick a goal very quickly and then Arsenal will just park the bus. I can see that scenario happening. It will be a very tight, it could be a very boring game. I know people are expecting big running game and big energy and everything, which should be the case. Because I want to see Arsenal, given our situation when we have pretty much nothing to lose and everything to gain. Because nobody pretty much is giving us a chance against this Liverpool team, given the fact what players we have out or suspended due to injured. We just should go for it. If we lose, we lose. But we won't lose that much in a way. That is for me the big thing. Kivior just isn't good enough. That is the thing. Tomiyasu would be great. When he's on form, he's great, but he has suffered a setback in trainings, which means he will be out for extra extended period of time, which is again not great. Did you see the Fenerbahce crowd and that? Dude, Turkish atmosphere is nuts. The game between Fenerbahce and Galatasaray in Argentina, River Plate versus Boca Juniors, those atmospheres are just off the charts. Genuinely insane. Still have faith in Kivior. That is the thing. It depends how we put the team out, but I believe that this could be the case. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this back line. I wouldn't be surprised if we see this back line on Sunday. Just putting it out there. Just putting it out there. And then our midfield would be Rice and Merino. Just let that sink in. But yeah, it's hard to predict. It's very, very hard to predict at the moment, given the circumstances. They're mentally unhinged, if you ask me. No, it's just passion. It's gonna be 1-1. I generally believe it will be a very low-scoring game. I think it will be 1-1, 2-1, 1-0 even could be. Just depends on which side. I'm saying 2-1. And El Clasico 2-1 Barca. Could be the case. Given how Barcelona are flying at the moment, I can see that totally. Although El Clasico has that different sound to it, the different feel to it, especially it's a Bernabeu. I'm calling 2-2. I'm saying it's going to be 2-1. I want to say Arsenal so badly, but due to injuries, it's very hard to say Arsenal. But I'm going to back my team, and I'm going to say Arsenal going to score a quick goal. Liverpool will equalize at some point. They're going to go for the second because we will park the bus. And Arsenal either on a counter to Martinelli or due to a random set piece will get the winning goal and win it 2-1. That's what I'm saying and prediction for that game. I'm expecting a very rough, potentially unwatchable game. Very boring one. That is something I'm expecting as well. I will never call a loss. I'll always default to a draw. That is the thing. I also don't want to call a loss for Arsenal ever. But at sometimes it's very hard. I always go for a draw as well if I think Arsenal could lose. That is also a thing. Van Dijk header could be the case. In his own goal, by the way. That would be Peakham's. Me too, BX. He's a Poland international. He has been stitched up to ask him to invert. Yeah, that's the thing. If you recall last year when Kivior was playing left back, when Arteta asked him to invert, right? Nothing was working. We looked awful. As soon as Arteta switched it around, said, Kivior, you are staying as a center back, and we started inverting from the right side with Ben White, all of a sudden last season we started beating teams 5-0, 6-0, 4-1 and stuff like that. It was quite nuts, to be honest. But yeah, that's, I think, on that note, I'm gonna end today's stream. Thank you guys so much for watching. You have been freaking fantastic. If you're watching this as a playback, let me know down in comments what you're expecting Arsenal, the result and everything, predicted starting 11. If you're new around here, don't forget subscribe, hit that bell, comment, all that good stuff. Big up everyone. Big up everyone in the chat. Big up Nick, BX Gunner, Coach, Nathan, Manchester. Big up everyone. Big up, big up, big up. You have been freaking fantastic. I think take care. Stay safe. Let's see what happens tomorrow. Let's see. Premier League starts today. Leicester versus Forest. And tomorrow, of course, there are games. Enjoy football. Take care. Stay safe. And see you all either tomorrow, depending on what happens. Because I don't have my full day planned out yet. So I cannot promise a stream. I'm very sorry about that. But on Sunday, most likely after game. See you guys then. For sure. Peace.